Hi everyone, in this video we're going to see something which is pretty much the hype in today's date, the hottest topic of today's date, which is Devin. And I'm sure you guys would have already gotten the news about Devin. And a lot of people are hyping it up like crazy. They're saying that it will take away everyone's jobs. And it's like, this evil thing which is coming after all of our jobs. So let's take a look into it. Let's see what Devin is and let's see whether it's something which is actually something to be scared of and whether we have a threat from it, Devin, directly. So I was on Codeforces, I believe, yesterday, and that's where I saw this blog about cognition and Devin. So for those of you who don't know, Devin is the world's basically first AI software engineer. So it's more or less a AI software. Okay, so it is a AI software that is developed by the company Cognition Labs. Now, one thing I want to point out here, which a lot of people are not pointing out, is that Cognition Labs, the company which has made Devin, is primarily made up of computator programmers. And I myself am a computator programmer. And the CEO of the company, Scott Wu, I've been following for quite some time now. He's a legendary grandmaster on code forces, as you can also see from his profile. He's pretty good at what he does. He's pretty good at problem solving, and he's basically the founder of this company, if I believe. And you can see majority of the people who are involved. So it has around 10 employees, and majority of them are computer programmers, high level computer programmers, like either red, orange, or black orange, basically grandmaster, legendary grandmaster. They're made of that. Okay, so let's take a look at Devin, what Devin can do. So I'm going to show you a little bit of demo. Obviously I'm not going to sell the idea of Devin, but let's quickly see what Devin is able to achieve, so that we can have a little bit idea of what it's able to do, the potential that it has, and whether it is something which can basically take away our jobs, so to speak. So like, this is the Cognition Lab. This is Scott Wu, the CEO. So if you take a look at what they have written, right, if you read what they have written, Devin is an autonomous agent that solves engineering tasks through the use of its own shell, code editor, and web browser. So it has three things right now. As they say, they have a shell, they have a code editor, and they have a web browser, and obviously they have another window which is for the prompt, for the human interaction, that you can interact with it. So it has four things basically: the prompting window, the code editor, it has its own shell or terminal, and then it has a web browser. Okay, so let's see the video once to see what it's able to achieve, and then we'll talk about more. Let me mute this. Okay, so this is basically pretty much a workspace. So this is the workspace. Now, what you have in ChatGPT, you just have the chat window, you just have the prompting. Why? Because ChatGPT, with the latest model of what they have right now, GPT-4, what it is it's a chat bot. More or less, it is a chatting thing, but this is a complete software. Okay, so you have this prompting thing where you can see they're asking them to build something. So you have a workspace where you have these multiple things. Okay, so you can check it out. They have a shell, they have a browser, they have an editor. So this is how it looks like. Basically, this is the workspace, this is the total workspace or the software. This is where you can prompt or talk to it. This is the shell, and this is the web browser. Now the good thing about web browser is that it is able to access the web to basically search for things. So if you get an error, suppose you get an error, what do? What do we do as software engineers when we get an error and we don't know about? Nobody goes up to the documentation, we copy the error, we paste it on the browser, and then we check it out. So this is pretty much more or less doing the same thing. And then it has the code where it's able to code, and then it has the web browser where it's able to browse, and then it has the shell where it's able to run the things. So it's a pretty cool concept, as you can see. All the tools, like they say, the software engineer could use. So it has the command line, it has the code editor where it's able to have the code, the web browser where it could search up references, documentation, etc. Basically the search that any human would be able to do as well. So you can see something like this. So you can see this is the error, and from the error it's able to debug it. Okay, it's able to debug it similar to what humans would do. If you see in the debugging part, it's even printing debug statements. Okay, so that is impressive. But if you look at it in depth, if you look at it in depth, if you look at what it really is, then it's not a new model. Okay, I want to be very clear on this. It's not a new model. Okay, it still works on the pre-existing models that we have. So it's not that much of a breakthrough. They have everything together now. So as you can see, earlier we didn't have everything together in GPT-4 or in other tools. We had, it was not a pure software engineering tool. This is a pure software engineering tool, but it still runs on the same models that GPT-4 would be able to do. So in no way they have their own model. And in the latest thing, you can see that it shows that the Devin, basically the software tool, was able to make the website, and it's able to also deploy it on Netlify. So again, this is also something that you can do with GPT-4. Netlify allows this, that with one click you would be able to deploy your website. So it's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool thing what they were able to achieve, where they have these four multiple things where you don't have to do things separately now. Everything is in one single place. You don't have to run to first the prompting, then the coding, then running the code, and then deploying it. So it's basically a complete AI software for your workspace. It's basically a workspace, but it's nothing new as of now. Obviously, they would have done a little bit of fine tuning with the pre existing models, but they have not come up with a model of their own. So that is something that you should keep in mind. It's not a new model. It still works on GPT-4 or any of the pre existing latest model. So like as you can see, it's able to complete the website, give you a live demo, give you a URL to the website which you are able to see. Okay, so it's able to do all of these things beautifully. Code itself, it's able to debug the code itself. It has a beautiful interface where you have four windows, like already mentioned, the terminal, the web browser, all of these things combined. Okay, so it is a good thing, right? But it's not a complete breakthrough right now. So as you can see, they say when evaluated on the SWE benchmark, which asks an AI to resolve GitHub issues found in real world open source project, Devin correctly resolves 13.86% of the issues unassisted. Meaning that if you give it these issues, GitHub issues, software engineering issues, programming issues, out of 100, let's say it is able to solve 14 of them on its own. Okay, which is far more or far better than the previous state of the art model, which had a performance of 2% and 5%. So basically, like 2 out of 100, 5 out of 100 jobs it was able to do previously. Now it has gone up to 14 out of 100. So they are doing some fine tuning, but like I said, they haven't said it's a new model. So they have done some fine tuning. They have made this interface, and it's a pretty cool thing, right? Made by Scott Wu, as you can see, who's a legendary grandmaster, the owner of this company. Now comes the main thing and the question that everyone has in their mind. What is going to happen? Is Devin the replacement for everyone else? And what is going to happen? Okay, now the first thing that I want to talk about is that majority of the people, including me, who are making the videos about this topic, they're not AI engineers. Okay, I'm a backend engineer. I have delved into AI. I do have AI knowledge about various things, but I'm not an AI engineer. So it's not very possible to accurately, 100% accurately predict what is going to happen in the future. But you have to understand, software engineering is more than just writing code and debugging code. Okay, so we saw that it's able to write code. We saw that it's able to debug code. It's able to find the error, basically what a human programmer would be able to do. But if you look at what software engineering is, it's not everything that a software engineer does. It's a part of your software engineering profile. And even Devin, how it's sold in the market, how they have their pitch of Devin, it's not a replacement for a software engineer. It's basically assistance to a software engineer. Okay, now let's assume this percentage of SWE benchmark, let's assume it's 14 out of 100 now. Let's assume it goes up to 100% someday, okay, which is very much possible, but I guess it will take some time. Let's assume a proper AI software which is able to do 100% of all according to SWE benchmark. Then what will happen? Even then, completely software engineering will not be abolished, because like I said, you do need to have a team of people working on the AI, working with the AI to assist it, working along with it. Okay, software engineering is not just writing code, which is a misconception that majority of the people have. But again, we don't know what will happen in the future, and this is again a cool thing, but it's just a good use of already pre-existing things that we had. So the engineers that are there, they have collected everything that we already had and made it into something that you can actually use in your software engineering career. Now, for the company, let's also look at the company and their official website to see what they have. So this is the LinkedIn page of Cognition Labs, basically Cognition AI, and it's pretty cool to see because last time I checked, last night only, it had around 8K followers. It has boosted to 13K followers because of the popularity that they're getting. You can see 2 to 10 employees. It's basically a very short kind of lab. It's not that huge of a company, but 2 to 10 employees, those are nothing less than the brilliant computer programmers of the world. Okay, so makers of Devin, the first AI software engineer, AI focused lab. Okay, all these things are there. Let's take a look at the official website of this. Okay, so this is cognitionlabs.com. This is the official website. Let's take a look at that. So it's pretty small right now. Okay, we've raised the 21 million series A led by founders. Okay, nice. So makers of Devin, the first AI software engineer, learn more here. I guess it will take you to their blog. We are an applied AI lab focused on reasoning and code is just the beginning. To hire Devin for engineering work, please join the waitlist. So obviously it's not open right now to the public. There's a waitlist. It's just, I guess, in the phase, where they are just having a waitlist. And I think they gave early access to one of the external user. You can also learn about his experience, how he felt working with it. I'll give a link. So this is basically the company. If you click about us, it's there. And if you say come work with us, then they even have a few jobs. They have a job for a software engineer, they have a job for machine learning researcher, they have a job for general application. So they have 3 open positions also right now. So it's pretty cool to see what people are coming up with, what they are making. And I'll be honest with you. Okay, we don't know what the future has in hold for us. It's a total gamble, more or less. The prediction that we have for the future is very unclear. But one thing I'll suggest to you right now is be good at what you do. Okay, whether, and I've been saying this for quite some time now. People have been asking ki, what will happen? Will AI replace this? Will AI replace that? And I keep on saying the same thing. Be good at what you do. If you're good at what you do, you'll be harder to replace, even if it's by the AI who has a pretty good accuracy. Okay, so be good at what you do. If you come in that top 10% of software engineers, top 15% of software engineers who are good at what they do, who actually understand that software engineering is not just simply writing code and debugging, then you will be difficult to replace. Okay, so get ahead of the race, be good at what you do, be serious about your work, be dedicated to your work, and you'll have less things to worry about. So yeah, that's pretty much it about this Devin thingy, and let's see what the future has in hold for us. And yeah, if you have anything else, then please do let me know in the comments. Love to chat with you guys. So that's all. Thank you.